Welcome back to my weekly rants where we talk about what's hot, what's not, and everything in between. It is your girl Dominica. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and definitely get down in the comments on this video. So, you guys, I am starting a new series where I'm gonna be sharing with you all some of the very special people in my life who have really changed my life in a lot of special ways. And from the title of this video, you can see we're gonna be talking about dating, love, relationships, one of my favorite topics. And I thought the best person to bring on for this topic is someone that I consider to be my favorite person. Her name is Sonia, and in my opinion, she is a love, relationship, and dating guru. Everybody, in my opinion, needs a Sonia in their life. I will tell you this. I always think it's important as a woman to have women in your life who provide wisdom. You know, for me, a lot of times that's been older women in my life, but I do understand that age by the number doesn't always equate to wisdom, right? So, Sonia is one of the most wisest women I know. She's very in tune with people. She's a very great judge of character, and she's one of the reasons that I am married today. I will just say that. I have been married for 11 years this year, and if it wasn't for the conversations and the relationships and the coaching, I always knew that I wanted to be married, but she helped me understand like how to make that shift and how to actually get down the aisle, if that makes sense. So, without further ado, I'm gonna bring Sonia on. We're gonna have a really exciting conversation today. So make sure that you share this video with all the women in your life, no matter where they're at in their stage of dating, if they're thinking about dating, if they're actively dating, if they're in a relationship and they just don't know how to get to the next step. Definitely share this video with them. Drop down the comments and let me know that you did so and interact with us. Okay, so I'm gonna bring Sonia on, you guys. I'm really excited. Go grab you a snack, water, wine, juice, coffee, whatever. You know how we do on this channel. We're always gonna be sipping something. And let's get into the video. Okay, everyone. So this is, like I told you, all one of my favorite people. Her name is Sonia, and she is definitely the guru when it comes to dating, love, relationships, and really just knowing people. I really think that you're a very good judge of character. Um, and that just helps in so many different ways. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into it, let her kind of introduce herself a little bit, and we're going to just hop into some conversations that I think will be very beneficial to all you ladies out there, no matter where you're at in your phase of dating. If you're thinking about dating, if you're actively dating, if you're in a relationship where you feel stuck or you've been in a long-term relationship and you want to get married and things just aren't going that way, this video is going to be very helpful. So make sure that you grab something to drink, you know, engage with us. You can drop questions down in the comment section and definitely share it also with all the other ladies in your life. So, hi Sonia.
Hello there, Dominica. And thank you so much for such a nice introduction. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you and just watching how far your life has come. And it's just been a beautiful thing to witness and just to see the beautiful wife and mom and successful entrepreneur that you have turned into. I'm always rooting for you and just loving to see you win. And I love to see all women win.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. Thank you so much. I love you so much. That was so sweet.
I love you too.
Oh,
So.
thank you. So, I want to just jump right in to ask you a few questions. I also stated earlier that I think it's really important for all women to have like wise women in their life. I think that that's always like a really big blessing. It has been for me, anyhow. And wisdom doesn't always come with age. For me, it has, you know, like I feel like I've had a couple older women in my life. But that also are very wise. But like I said, that doesn't always age doesn't always equate to it. But I think it's important to have women who are wise and that can give you advice, what I call sound advice or wise counsel, when it comes to certain topics. And so again, you were that for me in a lot of different ways. But dating relationships, definitely. I think it's important to have people in your life that you can go to, that you can trust, that can give you information that can help you, not hurt you, but actually help you. So I'm just gonna jump right in, like I said, and ask you a few questions that I think that can be very beneficial to others. Um, and so, number one, I want to get your thoughts on what are some of the key things women should focus on when they're dating if their goal is to be married.
Okay, so if their goal is to be married, and I'm talking when I'm speaking what it is, I'm talking about black on black, because I don't know enough information about other cultures to speak on it. But as far as
I'm
what
sorry,
women should,
I don't mean to cut you off, but thank you for clarifying that. I think that cut off a little bit, so I just want to um, reiterate. You're speaking of Black love specifically because that's what you know most about Black relationships, Black love, right? Okay, cool. All right,
that
continue. Okay,
black love and women that want to be married. If you don't
okay,
want to be married, this is not the video for you. But
okay, cool.
yeah, so
Okay,
so the goals that I think that they should look for is they need to, if they're online dating, make sure his profile says that he's looking for marriage. If they have met the person at at a at Starbucks or just out and about, after a few dates, check and see what his long term goals are. Is he in the next 2 to 5 years looking for marriage? Um, and it's important to make sure that he is it being intentional and looking for a wife, and that he's honest about it, and he's vulnerable enough to say it, and he's grown enough to say it. If he says something else, believe what he's saying. If he says that he's looking for a good friend, or if he's, he just wants somebody to hang out with, he means that. And
yeah.
so don't get with him and then feel like, oh, after a few encounters or maybe a few experiences, you decide you want to take it further, because 9 out of 10 times is not going to go any further than what he's stated that what he's looking for.
Yes. Oh my God, that is so good. And so I feel like so many women do that. So many women do like believe what the person says. Like I think that's so good what you said, to connect with somebody who's vulnerable enough to say like this is what I want. But if they say, hey, I want to chill, or I'm looking for, somebody to travel with or something, like literally believe that.
Literally believe it, and don't think that you're gonna make a difference. You're gonna put it on him, and he's not gonna be able to refuse you later down the road, and you will become his wife. Or stop with the head trips. Every now and again that might happen, the same as you might hit the lottery, but it's not likely.
Oh yes. Say that again. Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely you all, I know y'all gonna have something to say about this. So please drop down in the comments and engage with us on this. And give us your thoughts. If you've been in situations like this before, let us know. I really am curious to hear what other people have to say. We will be looking at the comments and answering any questions. So yeah, that was good. Especially the when someone tells you who they are, like Maya Angelou says, believe them.
Believe
Please.
them. And one more thing that I want to add to that, and this one is kind of a little bit out there, but if there if there was a case where you felt like, oh, he was just drunk when he said that, believe that.
He meant it.
Oh,
That's when you really get the truth.
that's when you really get the truth, because the filters are off. So don't be fooled. What he says, he means. And if he brushes it off, like if he's been telling you, "Yeah, I want to marry," and then you have one night of a little too much, and some other things come out, that's the truth, because the alcohol just takes the filter off of the block that the person would normally be. And so he knows how to present himself when he's to himself. But when the alcohol hits sometime, the block comes off and the truth comes out. So just that's a side note to be aware of too. But it all circles back to when he says what it is, believe it.
That's good. Okay, so next question. How can a woman recognize if she's settling for less than she deserves? And what role does self worth play in choosing the right partner? Oh, God, that's a good one. That's a
Mm-hmm.
really good one.
That is because I think that there might be a lot of drop down comments about this one, but a woman is never settling for less than who she is.
Mm.
Um, Even though her friends might think it, because it's easy to put on a persona and have people think you are somebody different, but your partner is a reflection of who you are. And so, if you actually feel a certain way about yourself and you have some things that aren't quite right, and basically you're equivalent to a 5, you're going to attract and keep a 5. You would not keep a 2 or a 10. If you bring yourself up to a 10, then you attract and keep a 10. But if you are with someone for quite a while and you guys are vibing, or maybe not vibing, but you're still together, believe me, you are the exact same level that he is.
Mm-hmm.
And you may think that, oh gosh, he does this and he does this. But inside, there's something about you that does that or that. And it might not be the same things, but it is equivalent to the same levels. So you're never settling. He is who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
if you feel that this person, because the only thing is we can see another person, it's hard for us to see ourselves. And so if you see him and you feel he's beneath you, or your friends feels he's beneath you, that it's time for you then to raise your level, to take some time out and raise who you are, how you feel about yourself. And once you do that, you organically, naturally just can't stay with that person. But as long as you stay in there, it's never a settle. It is who you are.
Oh, that's so good. So I say now, I don't know, maybe for like the last few years, that self-awareness is the key to life. I really believe that. And yeah, that's so good what you said. I man, that self-awareness piece, or like seeing something in someone else, I always tell people that, like, especially when as it um comes to relationships, what we're talking about today, like those things that you see in that in the other person, your partner, your spouse, or whatever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, like it's a mirror. Like you
Yeah.
just said, that was so, I mean, you said it perfectly. I can't say it any better than that. But yeah, you guys, that's good. Definitely drop below on that, because I
Yeah.
think so many of us struggle with that, especially women, thinking like we're not the problem. And problem may not be the right word. I don't want anybody to think I'm, you know, saying
Mm-hmm.
that in a negative way, but the things that we want and desire and we see in other people, like it literally is a reflection. And you really have to do some deep dives to see some changes.
And,
Um
and also it may not be the same thing. You
mhm.
there's a mirror, but it may not be a twin. It won't be twinsy. Like he may do this and it looks horrible to you, and you
Yeah.
never do this, but there's something about you that is equivalent in a different way, and it puts
Mhm.
you both on the same level.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to stay with him. Like your body wouldn't be able to stay.
I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%. And hopefully those that are watching can resonate with that as well. And if not, let us know down below how you feel. But I agree 1,000%. Um Yeah, so you answered the self. So okay, you answered the self-worth portion of that, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So next, what advice do you have for women who are dating with the intention of marriage but feel stuck, getting from like serious dating to actually walking down the aisle?
Mm, okay. Well, serious dating, um, serious dating, the next step after serious dating is boyfriend, girlfriend. Um, so if you go from serious dating to boyfriend, girlfriend, and now you're stuck being a girlfriend, or you're stuck being a girlfriend, and now you're a girlfriend for 5 years. Now you're a girlfriend for 7 years. Let me add too. I'm probably speaking to 30 and over.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. um 30 to 40, I would say, girlfriend 2 to 5 years. 40 to 50, girlfriend from 2 to 3 years. 50 and over, 2 years.
Okay.
Other than
Okay.
that, you wasting your time. You wasting
Okay.
your time, period. Because if you're
Okay,
if,
wait, I'm sorry. Can we go back a little bit and clarify that? So you're giving dating like parameters or limits for specific age brackets, right? Is that what you're
generally speaking, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Generally speaking, and dating is different. Dating is just fun and getting to know. But once you become boyfriend and girlfriend, once you're in love, that's a different step.
Okay.
And when you are 30 to 40, 2 to 5 years is enough time to explore and to find out if you want to marry this person. And it's enough time for him to find that out too, if you plan to marry. Because you can be with a person for 15 years, but once you marry, you just entered a whole different realm. So it's
A
like you
whole
said,
different realm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you starting over anyway. So if you're 50, you don't want to waste 10 years, and then you start no once you get married, you starting over at a different realm. Basically, I don't know. That's my thought. It's 30 to 40, 2 to 5 years. This is for a person or people that intend to be married. And then 40 to 50, 2 to 3 years. 50 plus 2 years.
Mhm.
Because either way it goes,
Makes sense.
you're starting over. Once you
Mhm.
get married, you're starting over. You're gonna learn this person again in a different way.
Mhm.
Um,
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I might have to have you back. That's a whole nother video, what you just said.
okay.
Once you get married. Okay. But okay, continue.
If you are in a relationship and you are, 40 or 50, and you've been with this person 5 years, 7 years, and you want to be married and this person does not, you are wasting your time, and you wasting your precious time, because there's somebody that is intended to be with you, that you are to receive the blessing of being married if that's what your heart desires, and you wasting time with this person and your love on this person, that is not ready to marry for whatever reason. And he may not be ready to marry you. He may step away and then after another year marry the next person. And that's probably the person that had some boundaries about their relationship and about herself. Um, I just feel like once you're boyfriend and girlfriend and we've confessed our love, and love is on level 10 or 11, and us women, we know how we love. When we love, like we're giving it our all.
Mhm.
And then you want to be married, and after a certain amount of time he's telling you he's not ready. it's
Mhm.
it's kind of a slap in the face to me. It's a big um it's a big loss. It's not respectful that he is willing to still have me on the market, and still have me available for another man to marry. but you say you love me, and you say, but you don't want me to have your last name. You don't want me to be a part of your family for real. Like,
Right. It's a level, a pretty big level of disrespect.
it's a big level of disrespect. And then if you have children by the man, and
Tell me about it.
man,
Yeah.
okay, if you have children by the man
Yeah.
and you still not married to him, cut it out. Like, stop. Like, if you don't have the respect for yourself to say you're not going to do this to me, what about your children? Don't you want your daughter or your son to see what a respectable relationship looks like?
Mhm.
And think about it. And you know, I'm probably going on a tangent now, but I've coached some women, and I've gave them kind of like a blueprint, and they've come back after talking to the gentleman that they're in the relationship with, and they convince them that it makes sense. Like, that's just a piece of paper, or you know what, he's not ready yet, and I don't want to force him. And no, you don't want to force him, because that's the last thing you want, to make somebody drag them into marriage. They're supposed to come willing, wanting to marry you.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
piece of paper that you fall for, it was just a piece of paper, baby. You are my wife. But everything is a piece of paper. Like, it's a piece of paper that says that your birth certificate is a piece of paper. Without that piece of paper, you aren't even who you are. Uh, they keep people in prison for
Hello.
50 years because it's written down on a piece of paper that he's supposed to be in there 50 years. Um, California is California, and Kansas is Kansas, because there's a piece of paper that said so.
Hello.
So cut it out with the piece of paper. You know,
I hate when I hear people say that. I really, really do.
and to
Oh,
put yeah, and to put it on marriage is like, you loving this man, you pillow talking with him. I'm sure you know all of his desires, his wishes. You probably know what he wants after death. But guess what? Without that piece of paper, you won't be able to do nothing about it.
not
you
a thing.
you gonna have to go on the hopes that they mama and them put your name on the obituary. God forbid if something happened. They're gonna decide what to do if something happened, or even if he took ill in the hospital. You may not even be let in. So that piece of paper means a lot. That piece of paper is the law. In the United States, we operate on law.
Hello. Hello. Okay. So that was good advice. The only other thing that I would ask you is like, is there any tangible steps that you think someone should be taking to make that step? Or I'm trying to think, did you answer that? Because I know, of course, like you said, you're not trying to force nobody.
Oh no.
But if they're stuck and they want to get married and it's just not happening, then
Well, if they're
know.
stuck and
Mhm.
they want to get married, at that time you have to have faith and love yourself more. If you're really stuck and you want to be married, um, you have to be willing to to walk away. You
Yeah.
have to be. The reason why is, like, that's not a threat, or or you just want to marry anybody. No, I want to marry the person that God intended for me to have. But you can't be that person if you're telling me you're not excited to be married to me. Now, I don't want to twist your arm at all. But if you're not excited to be married to me, then I need to move on. And I need to move on because I made a wrong choice. I thought you was the person, but you can't be, because God would have that person, and the universe would send that person that is celebrating me and is excited about it, feels it's a step of progression in life to be married to me, the same as I feel it is to him. And I need to step
That's
away
really
so I
good.
can so I can get to
That's really
that
good.
person, and so
That's
that
really,
person
really
can
good.
get to me. You basically are holding your own self up. And if you want to be married, and if you want to be in a relationship and you're not, that's on you. You're holding that progress up. It's not the outside men.
Mhm. That's really, really good. Because I think a lot of times what I see us as women do is explain those things away. And what you said is really, really good, that the person God has for you is gonna be excited. They're gonna be willing. They're gonna be, ain't they
Yeah,
won't. It won't be a, indecisiveness, or not that marriage
right,
is a big step, but when they're sure, you won't be stuck. You know what I
right,
mean? They won't want you to feel stuck either.
right,
You know what I mean? Like the person that's designed for you. So I think that was really well said.
right.
And
Thank
the part that I think a lot of women struggle with is sometimes you will have to move on. Like I think a lot of us stay too long, and for whatever reason. But yeah, that was really good.
you. Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
go ahead. Was there something else?
And it might turn out that the original person circles back and that
Yeah.
is your person. And
Mhm.
that's okay too. But you just want to get to who is your person for marriage,
Right.
because there is a person for you for marriage.
Yeah, say that part again, because I've seen some people recently that I think that they feel discouraged, like that there is not a person, and there really is.
There is.
Mm-hmm.
There is. And like I said, then they're not doing the work, they're not putting up the boundaries. And because there definitely is a person that is ready to marry them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Okay, so number 4. This is the fourth question. So, are there any red flags or overlooked traits women should pay closer attention to when deciding if someone is truly husband material?
Um, okay. For red flags, I want to say I think that we ignore a lot of red flags um, on what we hear and sometimes what we see, and we try to make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see a red flag and think, that was just that, but it's actually a red flag. So if that's a red flag, pay attention to it. I think that it's important to know who you have and what their red flags are, and then decide if anybody's going to be perfect. Um, So you got to know that too. There's no perfect man, but everybody's gonna have something. But be aware of the red flags, and then ask yourself, how do you feel about the red flags? And don't play it off like you didn't hear it or you didn't see it. And then husband material. I think if this guy is still going to the club, if he's still hanging with his boys all the time, that's not really husband material. I'm sorry to say this, but if he got a big Cuban around his neck and two big diamonds in his earrings, in his ears, pinky ring on, swagged out, he looks good, but that's not really husband material. Now, at the same time, it can be the same
Mm-hmm.
way as you can hit the lottery.
I love that analogy.
And, and I think a lot
I'm
of
weak.
I think a lot of women may be holding out for something crazy like that, to get flued in and unfortunately,
Right.
and to get this done and that done, and then to be his only one and then become his wife. I mean, it sounds
It's a
good.
fantasy. That
Yes,
sounds like a fantasy.
yeah,
Yeah.
but social media kind of get the head mixed up like that. And
Mhm.
so, and just
I was just getting ready to say that. What you're describing definitely sounds like somebody's reel or Instagram story, or I mean, social media I think has us a little delusional as it relates to that. So yeah,
Yeah. That
unfortunate. That's
yeah.
not, it's not real life. I keep reminding people that socials are not real life.
Yeah.
Like that's not, it's,
Yeah.
they're highlight reels, you know, it's, that's not real life.
Mm-hmm.
You peel
Yeah.
back the layers to get to reality.
Yeah. Social media is like for fun,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just for
Oh, I'm
entertaining.
sorry.
May have husband material right in front of them. Um, but and I've seen it happen, and they say, I don't like him. And I'm like,
Mm.
really? Wow.
Mm.
You know, you guys
Wow.
go to dinner, you guys go to so and so. Oh, I wouldn't dare like him. And I was like,
Wow.
what? So sometimes, people are leaving good men on the table because they want the swagalicious guy, and then on top of wanting that, they want him to just be for her, and then also to be married to a guy like that.
It's kind of delusional. You know what? When you're saying this, it's making me think back to one of the earlier questions I asked you. So, how do you think it ties into like a woman possibly seeing a man right in front of her face that is husband material, quote unquote, and overlooking him and being like, I don't like this dude, and I want this one over here. They got the Cuban and all that stuff. Like, how do you think that relates to like the mirror that we talked about earlier, or do you think that those things relate?
uh, I think that the woman is not sure of what she wants. I think that that's an immature woman so far, and that she hasn't had enough experiences to understand what she needs
Okay.
as for a husband. So that's what I think. I think it's just immature. It's something
Got
that
it.
you need to go through in your 20s, from 18 9, whenever you start dating to 30. That's for your 20s,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
in my
Okay,
opinion.
that makes sense. And I do, as I reflect on that, I do feel like myself and other women that I've seen do have more of those experiences, I think, in their 20s. And then as you mature, hopefully you start realizing like, oh no, like, you know, this is the type of guy I should be going for. So okay, that makes sense. All right. So this is the last question. Do you think
Okay.
there's value in women dating without the intention of marriage? And if so, what can they gain from those experiences?
Yeah, I definitely think there's value in dating without the intention of marriage, because that's kind of what we were just talking about. During your 20s through 30, through your 20s, you're probably dating without the intention of marriage, and that's when you find out what you want. That's when you find out, you know sometimes you need a partner to discover what you want, and to discover things about yourself that you wouldn't discover while you're single. So it's
Mm-hmm.
good to date and go through that time period, so that when you get to maturity, you understand what you're looking for. So I think that's dating without the intention of marriage is a good thing. And also it's a good thing even if you are 30, 40, or 50. If you don't want to be married, make sure you date people that want to date without the intention of dating, and don't go dating people that want to be married and then you don't want to be married, because that's a waste of time. I've seen that happen too.
Oh my
But
gosh, I see that happen too. That's
yes,
yeah.
so
It's
it's like
very irritating.
dating without the intention is a good thing when you don't want to be married. And there's plenty of people that don't want to be married, men and women.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure that you're on the same accord with that.
Yeah, make sure you're
Um,
in the same accord.
I wanna ask kind of one more question now that we dove into that a little bit. Do you think sometimes, because I've seen this with women who want to be married. They'll get wrapped up with a man who doesn't want to be married, but
Mhm.
he's not really honest with that, so to speak. Like, let me give you an example. Like, he might say, this might relate back to the very first question we talked about. He might say, like, I don't really want to get married, but then he'll say, oh, but I don't know, I might, you know? So I think in those situations, kind of like, do you understand what I'm talking about? Like,
I think so. Basically, he's playing games, and if he's
yeah,
not playing games, he's so unsure of himself and so indecisive that you don't need to spend your made up mind time.
got it. Got it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's when you made up. And it sounds. I'm not trying to make it sound simple, like black and white. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you ready and he not, peace out. I don't mean it in that way. I just
Right.
I think everything takes time. And so I do think you need time to explore him. It's not like you just want to marry anybody. No. You want time to
Right.
get to know this person and him get to know you. And you want to know if he's celebrating you. Is he, and I know this is just a little new word that everybody is mentioning now, but is he bringing out your soft girl? Is he bringing out that soft life for you? Are you able to be that, or do you have to, or is there another persona you have to take on, as if you're still single, where you have to speak up and do things, for yourself, by yourself, uh, that kind of thing. You want somebody that's going to compliment you and bring out your best self. And if that's not happening, that's not the right person for you. Mm-mm. You
I
know,
agree.
no matter how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, you probably know I could talk to you all day. I could talk to you all day, but that's the last question. So, before I let you go, do you have anything else you want to share with the ladies specifically? Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. But yeah, do you have anything to share before we disconnect?
Well, I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful women. Um, I have one more thing that I needed to mention, because it's a I think that it's something that women do that is really getting them caught in a bad spot. But it's about Instagram. You meet someone and he asks for your Instagram, and you give it to him, and that is taking away all the intrigue that he has that he has to build up. Is take In one click he's seeing you in a swimsuit, he's seeing you dressed up, he's seeing your child, if you have one, or your parents, or all those things that he would naturally have to work for, and call you up to see where you are. You're posting it, and then you think, I wonder why he didn't call me. And that's because he knows where you are. You're posting it all. He sees you in a swimsuit. He sees you dressed up. He doesn't really need to take you to dinner yet, because he sees what you're going to look like. He doesn't have to take you on a vacation. He see you in a swimsuit. And I mean, and I know that's taking it kind of far, but just understand what I'm trying to say. The Instagram, given the Instagram should be safeguarded the same as your address. The same way you wouldn't give a stranger your address, you shouldn't give them your Instagram. Over time, after the person has, after the man has naturally worked to get to know you, then maybe should give him your Instagram. Once he's already met your mother, met your child, but giving this ahead of time, it's kind of like it's taken away, it's taken a lot away from you that he needs to do in order to build his interest, his respect. It's kind of like getting a gift from someone. And imagine somebody giving you a shirt, and the shirt is just, they just hand you a shirt and say, here you go. And they hand you the shirt. And, or someone has given you a shirt They wrapped it in tissue paper, they put it in a box, then they put the bow around it. Now that person is going to have to open the bow. He's going to notice the present. He's going to see how nice it looks. Open that, open the lid, pull back the tissue paper, and out comes a beautiful shirt. He's just going to respect that a whole lot more. And not to say that you are present, and actually you are a gift, but not to say that you are present, but I just want you to understand, when you give something away just by a click or just in seconds, there's no there's not the right amount of respect that goes with that. There's not the same amount of love and appreciation and anticipation. And you need all those things on your side. So pull back, you know, think about that as far as popping out that Instagram handle all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's really
If
good
that's
advice.
what you
Yeah,
do.
keep that mystery, Yeah. That was really good advice, and especially in 2025, that's the world now. The
It
whole
is.
Instagram, social media world. So yeah, that was really good. Oh my God. So I'm really excited to hear and see everybody's feedback. Definitely drop down in the comments, you guys. And yeah, I'm excited to see what people will have to say. Like I said, Sonia is one of my favorite people. I could talk to her all day, and I'm just happy that she was able to give us some of her time today. So I was able to share with you all a little glimpse of some of the amazing, just conversations and advice I've been able to get over the years by her being a part of my life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to share this with all the ladies in your life, especially those that are dating, actively dating in whatever stage. Like the video so it can get, pushed out to more folks on YouTube. Um, Leave us some comments. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.
Thank you.